go, 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 yeah! Touchdown in your face, sucker! Whoa! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world show made for the fans by a fan. I'm your host, as always, Richard Tiemann, and this is the award-winning fan show. That's right. Everyone's a fan of something, and we have got something for every fan, especially this week, those of you that are fans of NFL football. Week 1 is here. Hallelujah. Amen. Can you feel it? Seems like we've waited forever to get here. And I know not having an indoor football or arena league season of any kind really seemed to just slow the wait down to a crawl or a creep, but we've counted down. We've gotten ready, we've crossed our fingers, said our prayers, ate our vitamins, whatever it is that you do, rub your lucky rabbit's foot that we would get football in 2020. And we are 24 ticks away. That's right, 24 hours from Week 1 kickoff. We will go over all of the Week 1 matchups. We go over the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So welcome to episode 471, and welcome to Week 1 in the NFL. Nothing gets you quite in the mood like playing a little Madden on the Xbox, and if you're the 49ers, beating up on the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, how it should have been. Sorry, not sorry. How it should have been. But here we are. I know, it's only Xbox. So place your bets. I hope your fantasy teams are set and your leagues are ready to go. It's going to be interesting. It really will, and we will talk about that also. So without further ado, or any more delay, got a great episode for you. 471 starts right now with today's headlines. And of course, headlines are brought to you by Dynamite Enterprises. They can customize your world in a number of ways, be it shirts, hats, polos, beanies, hoodies, trophies for your fantasy league season if you want to award something to the winner or even get a little something for the loser. They have backdrops, they have tablecloths, they have koozies, coasters, stickers, you name it. They've got it. It is getting a bit more chilly out there, so maybe you need a custom hoodie or a long sleeve for the fall. Tailgating, campfires, best to dress for the occasion, and Dynamite Enterprises can help you do it with your logo or artwork on it. So hit them up, dynamiteenterprises.com, or visit their Instagram, Dynamite Enterprises. Ask for Ethan, because Dynamite Enterprises can customize your world. We begin today's episode, of course, in celebration that football is back, and it's going to be a little weird, right? There's a lot of teams that are going to play without fans in the stands. Some are, but more are not than those that are. And it's sad because what does that mean for home field advantage? I don't know. Will there be one? Lambeau and CenturyLink in Seattle, those places, the fans make a difference. New Orleans, the Superdome, the fans make a difference. And all three of those teams that I mentioned have big matchups, but only one of them is at home, and we will go over that in a little bit. This is my favorite week of the year because my wife, Danji, and I, we got married on Football Sunday. It was 2014, September the 7th, to be exact. And those of you that are friends with me on Facebook have seen some of the videos, some of the pictures. A whole football-themed wedding. We encouraged everyone to dress up in their respective team jerseys and really make it more of a tailgate than a wedding. It was a lot of fun, and we are so happy with how it turned out. We couldn't get the projector going to have the games going on during the reception, and so that's on me. I felt bad. People were missing football, and we were supposed to be at a wedding celebrating a couple who loves football. But nonetheless, it was 49ers versus Cowboys, and they got the W. And so it was a great moment for me. So this week is always a great week because it means our anniversary and then right into NFL football. Perfect way for any football family to celebrate their big day, and then, of course, that big time of year, NFL season. Also, we have a wedding coming up this weekend. It's been postponed a couple of times, and the total number has gone from like 250 down to 78. But the man who's one of the best men at my wedding Jeremy Funk and his lovely bride-to-be Rachel are getting married this weekend in California, so we will fly out Friday morning very early, and they will get married Sunday, and then we'll come back Monday. So I just wanted to wish them an early congrats, and then I'll have a full recap for you guys when I'm back next week's episode. And I'm trying to decide, because normally the NFL and everything that goes on calls for multiple episodes a week. Do I want to switch back to Tuesday and Thursday, doing a recap and a preview? I haven't decided yet. But these episodes, how I've had them, have gone very well. And I owe you, Fan Nation, for that. So thank you very, very much. Finished Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai was amazing. And for those of you that think that this is some... Well, now you're seeing the other side of the story. How, if you see all the details, if you hear both sides of it, maybe the bad guy wasn't really the bad guy all along. Maybe he was kind of the good guy, and they just made the other guy out to be the hero. Okay, I'll bite. I will, because there are some details to Johnny's side of things that make him look like less of a bully that he was back in The Karate Kid. But I think the detail that a lot of people are overlooking about Cobra Kai is that you're taking a bully antagonist from the 80s and you're throwing him into today's culture where he looks like a damn hero. I mean, the episode where he gets the new recruits is priceless. Probably the best episode of the whole series. It's in season 1. Season 2 was great, and now we're going to wait for season 3. But just... everything, like how not politically correct he is in any way, or sensitive at all to people, and it's hilarious. It really is. If you're a 90s kid, or if you were born in the 80s, like, you love all the references, you love the soundtrack. So Cobra Kai is a must-watch. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I can tell you that right now. But there's a line in there that really hits home, because I don't condone bullying whatsoever. Okay, so let's just put that to bed right away. I was bullied. I know a lot of people that were bullied. I was bullied probably the worst in middle school, and then high school wasn't so bad because I joined marching band and kind of found a family of my own. But not everyone was so lucky. But there's a line in there where he says, back in my day, when you teased someone, you did it to their face. There was honor. You didn't hide behind a keyboard. And I'm like, I love this guy. So that is kind of... a little snippet of what Cobra Kai is like. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you have Netflix, go and check it out. If you've watched it already, watch it again, because in my opinion it's one of the best series out there, along with The Umbrella Academy. And then The Boys season 2 are back, but only the first 3 episodes. They will be releasing a new episode every Friday, and I'm thankful for Amazon Prime for doing that, because sometimes having them all at your disposal, you'll lose sleep. Literally, you will lose days and hours of your life because you can't wait for that next episode. And it's so convenient. It starts to play automatically. And then Netflix will be like, are you still watching? Like, don't you have life to get back to? I don't think Prime does that. But thankfully, they're only putting out 1 episode each week now. So they kind of say, okay, stop, watch it again if you want to. And then next week we'll meet back here for a new one. But maybe Cobra Kai isn't your thing. Maybe The Boys isn't your thing. Maybe you're done with superheroes and 80s nostalgia and what have you. So we do have a new recommendation from our friends, the Real Film Nerds, for this week's Real Film recommendation.
How's it going, everyone? It is Matt and Mike back again from the Real Film Nerds podcast. This week, we both hit the movie theaters. We risked our lives to see Christopher Nolan's latest movie, Tenet. Mike, go ahead and break it down.
All right. Yeah, Christopher Nolan was the director. He was also the writer. This is starring John David Washington and Robert Pattinson. And it's about a movie armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world. The protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that he will unfold into something beyond real time. Ooh.
All right, Mike. So we already discussed it a little bit. I recommend you go and see this in the theaters only if you're a huge fan of Christopher Nolan's other works. If you're not, if you don't like his trippy time-traveling style movies, I say hold out and wait until it comes out at home. you don't need to risk your life to see this one?
I really like this one. I guess I'm a fan of Christopher Nolan's work, all of his different things, dating back to Memento, Inception. This is kind of it's a movie that makes you think about what's going on, and then at the end you kind of don't know what happened. So I love it. So it's a lot like Interstellar. I don't know. It's a Christopher Nolan movie. Great acting. I recommend it.
How I described it on the radio this morning was it is basically Inception on steroids crossed with James Bond.
Yeah. All right, dude. That's a good one. I like it.
All right. Don't forget, Fan Nation, we got another movie giveaway this week. We are giving away copies of the original Alfred Hitchcock Psycho. So if you want to win a free copy of Psycho, hit us up. All right. Back to you, Richard.
Thanks, guys, again for the great recommendation. Make sure that you are following them on all major social media platforms at Real Film Nerds, and subscribe to their podcast. It's a great listen, and they do a great job of reviewing different movies, and, of course, here on the Fan Show, giving you a great weekly recommendation. Moving on to other live sports, we have the NBA playoffs, still in round 2, but we're getting closer to round 3, a.k.a. the conference finals. So for you basketball fans, here are the remaining round 2 matchups. In the West, we have the Lakers versus the Rockets. The Lakers lead the series 2-1. And the Nuggets versus the Clippers. The Clippers lead that series 2-1. Game 4 is tonight. And over in the East, we have the Heat versus, well, they're waiting on an opponent because they took down the Bucks 4-1, so they are the only team that has advanced to the conference finals, and they will wait to see who the winner is between the Celtics and the Raptors. Celtics lead that series 3-2, and their game 6 is tonight. Who will come out on top and meet the Heat in the conference finals? We'll just have to wait and see, but man, this has been exciting. We've had Game 7s, we've had close calls. So NBA, again, bravo for your bubble and making that succeed. It's been a lot of fun to watch. But the NBA is not the only live sport with the postseason happening right now. We do have NHL hockey playoffs in the quest for the Stanley Cup. They are in round 3. So for you hockey fans, here are your playoff matchups. In the Western Conference Finals, we have the Golden Knights versus the Stars. That series is tied at 1 apiece. And over in the Eastern Conference Finals, we have the Islanders and the Lightning. The Lightning lead that one 1-0. Game number 2 is tonight. Like I said, it's a great time to be a fan of hockey or basketball as the postseason really starts to heat up. It's kind of been something for everyone. And I know we don't talk a whole lot about baseball, but baseball is still happening. And there's been UFC and there's been NASCAR, but these are the big 3. And now we get NFL starting tomorrow night. So we are in, as they say, the final countdown. Ba-da-da-dum. Ba-da-da-da-da. My singing is terrible. So maybe we should check in with somebody who knows some really great singers because he is a music connoisseur. I'm talking, of course, about Matt, the fat bearded vinyl guy, and this week's spin. So Matt, what are you spinning today?
Hey Fan Nation, I am Matt, the fat bearded vinyl guy, and I am back in the vinyl lair. Today I am spinning one of my favorite guitarists, the spaceman himself, Ace Frehley. This is his 2016 cover album, Origins Volume 1. This record was released in April of 2016 and has appearances from Slash, Lita Ford, and former Kiss bandmate Paul Stanley, among others. Ace covers songs from the Rolling Stones, Cream, Jimi Hendrix, and Led Zeppelin, as well as some Kiss tracks that he wrote but didn't sing on originally, those being Parasite and Cold Gin. What I love about cover albums is that the artists that we love, these are the songs and the artists that they grew up with and they love. It's kind of like a musical genealogy, going back to who influenced the artists that influenced us. Remember a few weeks ago when I was critical of Weezer's covers album, saying they were too faithful to the originals? Well, this is a covers album that's done right in my mind. The songs are distinctively the songs that you know, but also very distinctively Ace Frehley. Ace sings all the lead vocals except on Freeze, Fire and Water, where Paul Stanley took the lead. It's a far cry from the earlier Kiss days where Ace had no confidence in his lead singing ability. Even the first song that he did sing lead on, 1977's Shock Me, he recorded the vocal track while lying on the floor in the dark. Clearly he's gained some confidence since then. Now looking at the album title, I'm sure you're wondering, is there an Origins Volume 2? Well, there is, but not just yet. That's being released this coming Friday, and yes, I already have my pre-order in. That's all for now. For more music talk and vinyl shenanigans, go to fatbeardedvinylguy.com. You'll find links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and YouTube pages. I'd appreciate a few more likes and a few more subscribers.
All right, thanks, Matt. Once again, don't forget to give him a like and a follow and subscribe to his channel, just like it says at the end of his video there. It's not just shenanigans, but I think Matt does a fantastic job. All right, just before we get into my interview segment with the head coach of the Frisco Fighters, Clint Dolezel, we do have This Week in Fan Show History, and as I mentioned, it's one of my favorite weeks of the year. It's the NFL kickoff week and my wife and I's anniversary. Danja, a.k.a. Mrs. Fan Show, and I just celebrated 6 years of marriage together. Where has the time gone? How have we done it? Well, we support each other, and if there's one piece of marital advice I could give to anybody out there, either a newlywed or in it, 10, 20, it's to continue to support each other and each other's dreams, okay? Like, I can't drive that point home enough. So, thank you, honey. You have been absolutely amazing in the last 6 years or more. We were dating 2 before we got married, so really 8 years together as a whole, and hopefully many, many more to come. That will bring us to our interview segment. Oh, and we've got the Fan Show Fantasy League Season 5 draft tonight, sponsored by Undisputed Belts. Somebody's going to get a championship belt from those guys. Will it be me this year? I don't know. I've never won my own league's championship, and I think there's like a rule about that. But anyway, I'm out for blood this year. Producer Rob, Adam, the reigning champion, I'm coming for you guys, okay? So wish me luck as we get ready to draft. But I think that will cover everything that we wanted to talk about this week. Oh, and the Week 1 predictions for NFL Week 1. Let's go ahead and take it from the top. We'll speed through these real quick. We have tomorrow night the Texans versus the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Texans in an upset, and also because I'm a 49ers fan. Dolphins, Patriots. I like the Patriots at home. It's a Bill Belichick team even without Tom Brady. Packers, Vikings. I like the Vikings at home. Call me crazy, but I do. Eagles versus the football team. I say again, the Eagles versus the Washington football team. Give me the Eagles. Then the Colts and the Jaguars. I like the Colts. Bears and Lions. Ooh, this could be a good one. Give me the Lions at home. Adrian Peterson in a Lions uniform could be something crazy. Then the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to go with the Panthers on this one. It's a West Coast team playing on the East Coast, so that never bodes very well for those guys. Then we have the Jets versus the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills. Browns versus the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. Seahawks and Falcons. I'm going to take the Falcons. Chargers and Bengals. Oof. This is a toughie. Bengals. Call me crazy. Chargers don't have Rivers anymore, though. Buccaneers and Saints. The Tampa Bay Tom Brady's taking on Drew Brees and his Saints. I'm going to take the Bucs. Again, call me crazy. I'm taking the Bucs. Then we have Sunday Night Football. The Rams hosting the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. Then Monday night, the doubleheader. Steelers versus the New York Football Giants. I will go Steelers. And finally, to cap off Week 1, the late game on Monday night, the Tennessee Titans taking on the Denver Broncos. Denver just lost Von Miller, I think, for the season, if I recall correctly, the tweet that I saw. Either way, tough blow to their defense. I like the Titans in this one. So there you have my Week 1 predictions. Let me know what you think. Am I crazy? Am I right? Am I wrong? Whatever. Tweet me at RealRichardT or at FanShowOfficial. So here we go, the moment you've waited for, my one-on-one with the head coach of the Frisco Fighters, Clint Dolezel. Enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me today from the great state of Texas, he is the head coach of the Frisco Fighters, Clint Dolezel. Welcome back, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Richard. I appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to talking to you and getting going with the season.
Yeah, last time we talked, it was your debut on the show. We got to pick your brain a little bit about being, a head coach of an expansion team from a successful AFL team and the kind of challenges that you were having to face to put a winner out there on the field for your, season debut. But here we are. I was hoping the next time we talked was going to be after a couple of wins and we could get your feelings on that, but we've got to wait. And I think, that's okay at this point. What other choice do we have? But what I've been asking the different coaches in the league is if you want to call this an extended off season, which I think is probably the best way to put it, what kind of challenges you've faced and how you guys have made the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of challenges, honestly. It's I hate to say it's a good thing for us, but it has been. We've been able to look at our roster, evaluate it. We had 2 weeks of training camp with our players. We were supposed to play that Thursday, the day the whole world shut down. That was going to be our home opener in Frisco there. So that was obviously frustrating. Felt like we did a pretty good job with the roster, but we definitely have, signed some more players since then. Felt like they're upgrades based on the talent we saw in camp. So I'm just hoping we play in March now. I'm hoping things get worked out and, we get going there soon.
Now, how much, if any, changes have you guys made to the team? Because obviously now you had a little bit more time to maybe look at some players that you were on the fence about, and now you're like, maybe let's go take another look at them. Or if there was a play that didn't make the playbook, maybe now you had some time to go back and say, that one might be something we save for a rainy day. Any big changes like that, and what has that process been like for you?
Not a lot of changes. We probably moved on 4 or 5 players from last year's, opening 2-week roster and training camp. Have some in waiting too that we'd like to sign. They're kind of waiting to see what they want to do, the XFL, things like that, if they're going to play or not, that want to play. So we may make some more moves, here in the next few months. But, right now we feel pretty good about our 40-man. We're looking to upgrade always if we can find the talent. Playbook wise, Dan and I talked, Rod Abaz, my offensive coordinator, and we kind of like the things we've looked at. We're constantly watching film, on the really good teams, your Arizonas, your Sioux Falls, and those type teams, and see what kind of offense and defense they're running, and see what works for them, and looking to add those simple things. I know I'll change some things from what I did in training camp just to make it simpler for my players. I've never been one of those guys to have this elaborate playbook to make myself look smarter. I want my guys to go out there once a play is called and, let's go play football. I don't want them overthinking things, and feel like we've done, over the years of playing for 13 years and now coaching for 13 years. I've tried to simplify everything as easy as possible for the players, not have to really, they have to get in their playbook, obviously. But I don't want that to be their, why they miss or, make the football team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, one of those situations where each coach and each team is kind of handling it differently. And not only on the field, but off the field as well. There's some opportunities to take advantage of and things that a team will need to do. The Wild Dogs have taken this as kind of a time to really slow roll everything as far as they now have a name. They have merch that they're starting to roll out, and they're not even going to play until 2022. They've decided to push back further because they were worried about arena dates, being able to market the team. But you guys, you were ready to go, as you said. Thursday, that was supposed to be game day. You guys were locked and loaded. But what has it done for you now in regards to marketing and making sure that people know who the Fighters are going into 2021?
No doubt. Our owner, Mr. Germain, I thought he did a great job quickly finding people to, obviously Dave Winham and Steven Evans. Those guys have been in the arena football game, forever, longer than me. And that's a long time. I'm 26 years involved now, and they, I can't remember exactly what our numbers were with my coaching staff and having those two on board. It was well into 125 years of experience of indoor football, and we were ready. We had things launched. We were on the ticket in Dallas, which I'm not sure what you know what that is, but it's the biggest radio station, sports talk in Dallas, and everybody knew who the Frisco Fighters were. So I was looking forward to see what kind of crowd we were going to have opening day. I thought it was going to be a really good one. But we're getting the word out, and that's the name of the game in arena football and indoor football. You've got to have your name out there, and people got to like what you have in the product. And I think we're going to put a pretty good product out there.
You were one of the teams that I saw being very active on social media despite the cancellation of the season. And part of that activity was being very active in the community and helping where you guys could. How important to you as a coach was it to do even little things like that before you guys ever played it down?
Well, it's obviously very important. If your fans and your local people know the faces, know the names of the players, coaches as well, they feel like they have a tie to them, and that's what we're trying to put out there. And obviously trying to help people. It was a bad time. It's still a bad time, but we're getting over the hump, I think, as far as that goes. And we had several players getting out constantly and helping out, and anytime we can do that, that's what we're going to do from here on out. I mean, that's just the name of this game. You have to be able to put yourself out there and help people out when they are in need, and just to brand your name as well. In any chance you get, whether it's radio, whether it's going to food drives, anything like that. That's what we're going to do.
Well said. Couldn't agree more. And that is the kind of the intimacy of this level. That is the IFL and getting out and being active in the community. Now, as we look to 2021, we see that there's probably been some turnover with the league, which is to be expected, and a pandemic, not everyone can survive, and that's also to be expected. But to have a league coast to coast, if there's still a team in California, there's now one in Massachusetts, you have the east to west, but Texas has always been that state that, every football organization and league wants to have a presence in Texas, and now we have the Frisco Fighters. Now, when you have leagues like the AAF and the XFL that come and they go, and now the XFL is back again, and we'll see what happens with version 2.5 or whatever they're calling it, people have their opinions. The fans say, well, you keep putting these, minor league teams in NFL markets, that's never going to work. But, Seattle, they had to open up seating and sell more tickets for their XFL team. And here they have, baseball, they'll have hockey, and they have a successful NFL team. So I don't know if there's necessarily a rule of thumb when it comes to having a successful team in a market that's already occupied by another team of that same nature, even though it's different times a year. What is it that makes Texas so special, and why is it so important to have a presence there for a football league?
Well, I mean, like you said, since I was a kid, I'm 50 years old now, and I can remember going to, every high school football game growing up, and no matter what the size level of the school, from 6-man football to 6-8 football now, which, the variance in between there is huge, but there's standing room only. We're born and bred that way. College, I don't know how many Division I colleges there are in Texas. So there's plenty of football. There's D2 schools here. There's junior colleges here, and we just love our football. Other than there's no other sport that compares to it. There's some that try, but it's not even close. And your Floridas, your California, they're really close to that too. But being Texas born and bred, you're going to have a tough time finding better than Texas football. And yeah, we need to have it here. We're central, in the United States, of being, both sides, East Coast, West Coast, and you're going to get to come see some good football always. I think that's why we were able to field a pretty good football team as well. A few open tryouts, we had unbelievable talent come out there and play, and work out. And we signed several players from those tryouts. Being a new franchise, you got to go find some fresh talent and local talent. And we did that, and we're pretty excited about those guys.
I do love when teams seek local talent. I feel like it adds a personal touch to the team, and the community can really relate to that. And that, if you can find somebody, especially at a skill position, that's a huge win for that team in your inaugural season, which you guys will have in 2021. There's a lot of coaches in this league now that have some matter of history with each other. Some like each other, some don't, but come game day, all bets are off, and then you still shake hands at the end. But you've obviously been a pretty tenured coach around the block yourself. Is there any team or any coach you're looking forward to facing in 2021?
I mean, I always, love playing against good coaches, good, talented, well-coached teams. Obviously, Arizona's with Kevin Guy, they're always going to be good. The Sioux Falls, unbelievable talent. They've been great for years and years. Even when I was coaching, in San Angelo, when the IFL, my first year and only year in the IFL, they were great back then. Obviously, still are. And Billy Back in Spokane has done a great job, building an excellent football team there. So, looking forward to clashing heads with those guys, and everybody. It's going to be a fresh start for everybody. We just don't know what they're going to have, and I'm excited about it.
I'm excited to see the Frisco Fighters in action. I think Texas football is a different beast, and I'm very happy to have that as part of the Indoor Football League. And I know we came this close to seeing what it was going to be like in 2020.
Hours away.
Hours away, but good things come to those who wait, and we just have to wait a little bit longer. Since it is the week of kickoff, there is a little game I like to play with my guests each week on the show. It is Fan versus Fan Show Pick'em. 3 NFL games, straight up win or loss, and we see who the winner is after the week. So the 3 games I have, if you're ready. First one, season opener. Texans and Chiefs. This should be an easy pick for you. Who you got?
It should be, but it's Kansas City for sure. I mean, how do you go against the Super Bowl champs? I mean, they're awesome. You got Mahomes is just unbelievable what they've got there. They're the new product of the St. Louis Rams and Kurt Warner back in the day, and on the turf, baby. They are very good. I don't see how Texans have lost a few players, but it's going to be tough going against Kansas City.
Well, I will take the Texans just because it seems like there's been some more surprises over the last couple of years when it comes to these home openers for the reigning champ than we've seen. So that could be a trend. I don't know, but I like to play it loose in these matters.
There you go.
Next one is a great rivalry that we love in football, the Packers and the Vikings.
Ooh, that is a good one. They're starting already rivalry, huh? Golly, I'm going to go with the better quarterback always in that. Aaron Rodgers, it's tough to go against him. And they, with a new coach last year and a new offense, they still put up good numbers, not like he's normally putting up, but they were sound, controlled the football. Defense is always the issue if they're going to be good or not. And if they are, they'll be tough to beat again. So I'm going to have to go with Green Bay.
All right, I'll take the Vikings at home. I think last year the Packers were on the right track, obviously getting into the playoffs, but there's just something about the inconsistency there. I'm not sure if, head coach Matt LaFleur is ready to come out the gate swinging again just yet against a tough division rival, but we'll see if he's up to the task. And then the third one, normally this may or may not be a big game depending on the year, but this one, it doesn't even matter about the year. It's about who's on these squads. It is the Tampa Bay Tom Brady's and the New Orleans Saints.
That is a good, yeah. I don't think they'll have it together yet, the Tampa Bay. I mean, I'm sure they will with having Tom, and they signed Fournette too recently to sew up their running back game, and they got unbelievable talent at receiver too. So their offense, no question, will be very good. Now, will it come out the gates being good? So that's why I'll go with the Saints. Their offenses, and they still have the same players coming back for the most part, and Kamara and Michael Thomas. So they'll be tough to beat. And obviously, if you got Drew Brees pulling the trigger and him and Sean Payton, they're a tough combo.
I am hesitant to pick the Bucs, really even to make the postseason, just because Tom Brady decided to pick the conference that has 7 great teams already for those 7 right. playoff spots, where the AFC may not have even 5 great teams for playoff spots. But I feel like Tom has something to prove, and there's not really such a thing as home advantage in these first, 3 weeks now, because a lot of teams are playing without fans. And normally, any other scenario, I'd say, yeah, the Saints, their dome is going to be rocking. It's going to be loud, but we'll see how that affects these teams. I'm going to go with Tom Brady and the Bucs coming out week 1 with something to prove. We'll see how that goes.
We picked all 3 different ones. All right, I like it.
Makes it fun. I always let the guests have the first pick, and then we wait and we watch and we see how it turns out. But I wish you the best of luck in this as the first contestant on Fan versus Fan Show, and I can't wait to see you guys take the field with your 50 yards of fury in 2021 come March.
Appreciate it, Richard. Thanks for having me on. Anytime.
Absolutely, Coach. He is, once again, head coach Clint Dolezel, the Frisco Fighters. Thanks again, Coach. You have a good one.
You too, bud. Take care.
And one more big thank you to head coach Clint Dolezel of the Frisco Fighters for being my guest today. Love talking with the new additions to the IFL. And we were so close to seeing the Fighters play, but I'm just happy the IFL now has presence in Texas, like him and I talked about. It's a big win for the IFL, which is now coast to coast. What's going to happen with, the Strike Force and the Panthers, we got to wait and see. And there's still the rumor of possibly another team popping up in the California state, the Ontario/LA area. That will do it for episode 471. Don't forget to give us a follow on all major social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're up to, I think, 129 subscribers. Thank you guys. Fan Nation, you are awesome. And if you can't watch on YouTube or prefer not to on either YouTube or the Facebook page, then the podcast is for you, and that is available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio the day after brand new episodes premiere. So look for those Thursday afternoon, and I will be at work tomorrow, and then we're going to be flying to California for a good old-fashioned wedding. So Mr. Funk, Seahawks fan, I will see you this Sunday. Another friend of mine getting married on Football Sunday, although it wasn't originally planned that way. Still, we're keeping the tradition alive. So, until next time, Fan Nation, remember, it's not official unless it's Fan Show official, and we are officially out of here. So, best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners, and remember, it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. And good night, folks.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his own player's butt? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the Fan Show.